Last time on Murder We Spoke.
An arsonist, a cannibal, and a killer. What better trio could you ask for? 4 years later, they are talking to us and only us.
Our goal is to close the case on the disappearance of Roger Atwood.
We need to see clear signs of growth. That's 1,000 downloads, 500 new followers, and actual Patreon subscribers.
1,000 new followers.
Where do they come from?
I think from me.
Welcome back to Tantrum East's Murder We Spoke, a narrative podcast in a podcast in a podcast. This is episode 2, Nothing Bigger Than a Bunny.
What happens to the bunny?
That's what AG and Bailey titled the episode when it first aired.
Actually, Bernie's the writer, so it was her title.
Oh, is someone getting invested in this podcast?
I think we should do our intros.
Okay then. My name is Lisa Bowl, and I'm joined by my co-host, Thomas.
Thomas T-Bone Daniels.
Really?
I'm being a good sport.
Okay. T-Bone. In our previous episode, Bailey and AJ found themselves sitting face to face with the one and only Bloody Bernie Brown. But how did she earn that moniker? What you are about to hear is from the archives of Something Fishy's original podcast from 2019.
What's that? What's going on?
There's something fishy happening.
This episode of Something Fishy, a Homicidette Network production, is brought to you by Work Life. Are you struggling to obtain that perfect work-life balance? Do you find yourself becoming frustrated at work? Work Life is the online counseling app that connects you to hundreds of mental health professionals and programs that can help you learn how to communicate with your manager and find that perfect work-life balance for a successful professional relationship. Work Life. Download today!
A wet, cold September night in 2015. 6 months have passed since the night at the hospital, but the trio never speak of it, adding it to the list of shared secrets that bond the three together in their darkness. They prefer it that way. Some things can't be spoken, can't be explained. It is simply a feeling, an urge, an itch that can never truly be scratched. You dig for relief past the skin, muscle, the skeletal system, but it can never be relieved. So the three sit in their respective darknesses, trying to distract from the incessant twinge that bubbles on their skin. Bernadette, Cres, and Paula are wrapping up their series on The Women of the Manson Family, episode number 462. They never did get a chance to finish the series. An itch was brewing and needed to be scratched.
As the massacre continued around the home at 150 Cielo Drive, Sharon Tate sat on the floor, bound by her neck, pleading with Atkins, not for her life, but for the life of her unborn son.
Please, I don't care what you do to me, but please, I'm pregnant and the baby, my son is due any day now. You can keep me as a hostage, I'll give you anything. I'll go peacefully with you if you just let my son live.
Susan Atkins, also known as Sadie Mae, Sexy Sadie, and the scariest of the Manson girls, knelt down before Tate's face and coldly stared into her pleading eyes. Atkins toyed with the knife in her hand as she said,
I have no sympathy for you, bitch.
Atkins plunged her knife into Tate's body over and over. In total, Sharon Tate was stabbed 16 times. She finally bled to death as her unborn son suffocated inside the womb.
16 times seems excessive.
Seems like she was trying to make a point. Yeah, no pun intended.
Exactly, Cres, thank you. You see, when we analyze the Manson family, we have the cult leader, typically a cisgender man, that sits at the top of the pyramid. The base is composed of some men, but the majority are female-identifying individuals. And whether motivated by ambition or love, these women seek to climb the pyramid. The problem is, in their quest to get to the top, to be seen as equals, they don't realize that's never going to happen.
Tex Watson was Manson's subaltern.
Yeah, his number 2.
Right. Auxiliary.
And while Tex did participate in the gruesome murders with the 3 women at Manson's direction, Tex was still put in charge of overseeing the massacre. We will never truly know what was going on inside Atkins' head back in 1969. But I can only assume to stab a woman, a pregnant woman, 16 times, there had to be some kind of subconscious frustration that despite her efforts, she was still nowhere near the top of that pyramid. Sorry, can we cut here?
Fuck, Bernie, we were pullulating. Who's texting you?
No phones out while we record.
Cres pulls a pack of matches out of her pocket and lights a cigarette. She takes a long, relaxing inhale and lets the smoke billow out of her nose.
I'm sorry, but okay, no phones out, but Cres can smoke like a dragon?
It's her studio.
We are surrounded by kindling.
Nah, I have this place rigged. If it's gonna burn, it's gonna be because I pulled the trigger.
Trigger? What?
A little spark and a little fire in the right place and whoosh.
Why would you rig this place to burn down?
Because it's mine.
That doesn't make any... Ugh.
Do you think the mics picked up the buzzing?
Yeah, I heard it, so...
I'm sorry, it's Rita. She's been trying to get me to close again.
Why do you let that bitch boss you around?
Bitch? What about your whole need to respect the sanctity of the cast rule?
Show closed. Rita is no longer a fellow castmate. I can say whatever the fuck I want about that role-stealing wannabe actress and her mediocre performance.
You can't steal a role you were cast in.
I killed in that audition. Fucking slayed. I created my own dramaturgical packet before callbacks where I discussed the significance of Chekhov's seagull symbolism and the foreshadowing of the gun on stage and how it led to Constantine's death. And then, lo and behold, Yoga Barbie waltzes in with her agent's recommendation, 6 feet of legs, and doesn't even have her sides memorized, and gets to play Nina. Meanwhile, I'm relegated to Masha. It's almost risible.
Risible?
Can't you just say bullshit like a normal person?
I'm preparing for my next audition. It's an adaptation of Chekhov's The Cherry Orchard. A modern aristocrat family loses everything when their daughter's sex tape goes viral. I'm just assuming this is what rich people sound like.
Wait a second. Is this kind of like the rise of the Kardashians?
That's actually the perfect description.
Rita's auditioning for it.
Motherfucker.
I mean, it's not like I haven't tried talking to her about changing my shifts. I even told her about the creep that watches me.
What did she say about him?
Nothing. Didn't even faze her. Creep has been showing up since July, and every night at 8 o'clock on the dot, right before we close, he stands there in the dark and watches me.
What do you think he wants?
I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm surrounded by merchandise that costs $75, $100. Did you know the newest yoga pants we got for the fall selection? $125.
Fucking seriously?
I know, right?
I heard they got pockets.
I've tried to tell Rita that maybe there should be more than one closer for safety reasons, but...
Let me guess. Bernie, I want you to know that I hear you, and I hear what you're saying, and your feelings are important to me. Now, Please, with me, take a deep breath in. Now out and hear my feelings.
It's always about her feelings.
You could open.
She told me no.
And I suppose after she said no, that was it.
What else is there? She's the assistant manager now, and last time I checked, Lunar Legs is the only place that is paying my rent.
Oh, you're so right, because obviously I volunteer as a waitress and Cres works in a corporate cube to fulfill her artistic integrity.
Oh, look, I
When
know.
does she want you to work?
Tomorrow night.
Wait, you're not working tomorrow night?
I thought you were.
No, I requested the night off so I can finish the Manson script.
Why didn't you tell us?
I didn't realize I needed to approve my work schedule with you.
You can't.
What?
You have to work tomorrow.
Why?
Because
Because you need to stand up to her.
in person.
Yes, Cres is right. You need to do this in person.
But shouldn't I make her respect my PTO?
Think of it as a show of good faith. You do her a solid by coming in tomorrow, and in return, that will be your last closing shift.
And what about the Manson series?
I can stay late. Cres?
I live here.
It's almost midnight.
And?
Oh, I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted. You know, Bernie, for the last 6 months, Cres and I have been walking on fucking pins and needles because of your looming deadline. We've been putting in extra hours, extra talent, extra attention to details, polishing these episodes to perfection, just so that we can meet your standards before the end of the year, and you jump ship because shit got too hard.
10 years, Paula. 10 fucking years. And what do we have to show for it? We have not seen a significant bump in followers or downloads since Cres's incident. I mean, podcasts that are not even half our age are excelling past us. Have you been keeping up with Something Fishy?
Who gives a shit about Something Fishy?
Fuck them.
You know, you guys can continue the podcast without me.
No.
Maybe we will.
Good.
No, this isn't what we agreed.
Maybe with you gone, Cres and I can cut the dead weight that's been holding us back.
Oh, I'm the dead weight.
What do you do, Bernie? Cres is our sound engineer.
Producer.
Excuse me?
I'm the sound engineer and the producer.
Since when?
Since always.
Do you know what a producer means?
This is my equipment. This is my studio. I am the creator.
I don't take orders from anyone. I bring the story to life and keep the listeners entertained. And Bernie here, well, you sit in front of a computer, read a few books, and type a few words. Let's face it, anything you can do, I can improv better.
Why don't you go back to Lunar Legs, lick Rita's asshole, and resign yourself to a life of mediocrity where you die pathetic and broken just like your mom?
A thick air of silence fills the room. A line has been crossed. Suddenly, the lights begin to flicker as if there is another power surge. A sound breaks through the silence. It is a swift crack that is somewhere between thick ice or a collarbone breaking in two, mixed with sirens, beeping machines, and the horn of a truck barreling towards you. It is nothing created in nature. All three women hear the sound, but none of them know what it was. Bernadette's ears twitch as she draws back her fist and slams it right against Paula's cheek.
That is fucking enough.
Yes, this is what I want. You angry?
Yes.
Good. Now I want you to take this anger and hold on to it. And when you see Rita tomorrow, you are going to tell her in person that this is the last time you ever want to close. You never want to close again. Say it.
I'll tell her I never want to close again.
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 Adrenaline through the roof. They feed off each other's energy like a drug.
I have a gift for you both.
What?
Why?
Tonight is special.
Cres.
Close your eyes.
Cres sprints to the storage locker and grabs 2 Chaotica Fat Boy mics. She gently places them onto the table in front of Bernadette and Paula.
I wanted to give you these after tomorrow night to celebrate.
Oh my god. Are those?
Chaotica Fat Boy mics with built-in pop filters!
For your B's and your P's. You're welcome, Paula. You're welcome, Bernie.
I thought we used all of the 25 grand.
We did.
Oh, these must have cost you at least $400.
2 for 1 at the Bruised and Reduced store.
Oh, thank you, Cres.
Let's break them in. It's a good way to celebrate.
What are we celebrating?
Just you wait. After tomorrow night, everything is going to change. You'll see.
Feel like you've said that one before.
Paula immediately launches into her vocal warm-up routine she takes very seriously, clearing her throat, coughing, gagging, trilling her lips and tongue. She has no shame.
Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2.
Oh, good.
Okay, ready?
1 second.
Paula slowly twists her neck to left and right. You can hear every bone pop.
Oh, yo, could you not crack your neck into the mic?
Wow, these
Ooh.
mics are really good.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of
Murder, We Spoke. I'm your moderator, Bernie Brown, and with me, as always, is the talented, multifaceted Paula Anderson, who, by the way, Hollywood agents listening in, is also incredibly not represented. So if you're looking to find the next big thing, she's sitting right next to me.
Aw, thank you, Bernie. Paula Anderson. No, not Pamela. And for the last time, no, I won't do porn. Please email me, Paula, at Murder We Spoke, if you're interested in representing me.
And for you longtime listeners, if there are any of you, you will notice a gentler tone to our voices. Isn't that right, Paula?
Absolutely, Miss Bernie Brown. We are no longer hitting those B's or popping those P's, all thanks to our lovely sound engineer, Crescendo. These new fancy mics were made possible through your donations. So I wanted to take this moment and thank all who gave.
Whoa, wait a second. Stop the recording. Cres, can you cut that part out?
What are you doing?
You can't say that.
Why not?
Because it's not true.
It's not a complete lie.
Oh, so what? We're dealing with half-truths?
We are dealing with whatever we want as long as we control the narrative.
I don't feel comfortable lying to our listeners.
Crescendo, who gave you the money for the mics?
I got it from my mama.
Cash, birthday present.
And in our narrative, birthday present is another way of saying donation.
Mm-hmm.
We can't taint the integrity of our podcast. We report on real crimes that happened to real people.
Show of hands. All in favor of controlling the narrative to get some money?
Paula and Cres immediately shoot their hands into the air.
Oh, really, Cres?
You made the voting rule, not me.
This is fucked.
Not just a few minutes ago, you punched me in the jaw and promised to do whatever it takes to get this podcast to #1 on the charts. Or are you backing down already?
Start the recording. Thank you to our wonderful donor. Cres, what's your mom's first name?
Decrescendo. Diane.
Thank you to our longtime listener and donor, Diane. It is because of your donation we were able to upgrade our podcast studio to give you listeners more quality entertainment.
Complete control of the narrative, not hurting anyone. So, how are we going to christen our new fancy equipment?
Today is a special treat. For 3 episodes, we will be talking about the women of the Manson family.
Squeaky, Linda, Scary Sadie, and more.
We are going to take a deep dive into these women's psyches and try to get to the bottom of how and why these women could be driven to kill.
Any theories before we begin?
Well, a recent study from the FBI's Behavioral Science Division found that while men will kill for any and every reason on the spectrum —
control, power, jealousy, lust, anger —
the majority of female identifying killers are motivated to murder for advancement, whether that is advancement in love, advancement of status, financial advancement. Women kill to get ahead.
Oh, so is that where the term snapped came from?
Yes. And I think that's what makes true crime so fascinating to society. The need to advance in life is a human desire. Well, I think all of us, whether we want to admit it or not, wonder, what would be our snapping point?
And we're out. Intro sounds great. Let's move on and re-record Tate's stabbing. All phones on silent and put away.
That's you, Bernie.
Inside Cook County Prison 2019, Bailey goes alone. According to AJ, Paula had requested that she only wanted to be interviewed by Bailey. AJ dropped Bailey off at the gates of the prison, defenselessly watching Bailey walk into the lion's den.
The interview room was the same as Bernie's. Bailey sat, picking at her fingernails and adjusting her clothes. Suddenly, Bailey heard Paula before she saw her. The familiar sound of a jail cell buzzer announcing an incoming inmate came first. The slide and clank of heavy metal doors followed. But then came the chains. Heavy and numerous. They clanged and dragged on the floor. Paula still managed to strut to her chair and wore the chains as if she were covered in Cartier jewels. I'm sure she was smiling, licking her lips as she approached Bailey.
Do you think we can remove the face mask?
I wouldn't advise it.
It's okay. I'll assume any risks.
Your funeral.
Paula follows the guard with her eyes. There was a slight hesitation at first, but then the guard quickly began to unbuckle the leather straps holding the mask to Paula's face.
The cuffs stay on.
Understood.
With the mask removed, Bailey could finally see Paula. She was smiling. She began to twist her neck to the left and to the right. It was slow enough to hear every bone pop.
Oh, thank you for that.
We got eyes on you, Paula.
Alex, as always, you are so sweet.
Thank you, Paula, for sitting down with me.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. They don't let me out much. It's such a delicious treat to talk to another human. You didn't mind coming alone?
Oh, no. I think you had a great idea.
Many people would have probably warned against it. Not smart to split up. Being all alone from your herd. Little lonely bunny in a woodpile.
Is there something I should be afraid of?
So sweet. When do you get to interview our little fire starter?
Jane?
So rude.
Jane Doe, right?
You'll never get her to talk unless you call her by her name.
We are meeting with her lawyer, but they warned us it doesn't guarantee she'll speak.
Mm-hmm. Our crescendo has always been a little tight-lipped, but nothing a good smoke can't help.
Is she allowed cigarettes in here?
Last I heard, the guards do an excellent job to keep those out of her hands. Oh, poor thing. Do you have any idea what it's like to go cold turkey when you've been smoking since 10 years old?
Well, I mean, it was alleged that she set at least a dozen fires across the north side of Chicago, so...
Once she wraps her lips around that sweet nicotine treat, suddenly her tongue starts to tickle and she becomes a little more loose-lipped.
I just don't think... If the guards are saying no...
And I suppose if they say no, that's it.
There's nothing I can do.
Shh, Bunny. Not so loud. Come a little closer. Think of the stories, the interviews. Bernie and I were the last ones to hear Cres speak. How badly do you want to capture that voice on your podcast?
Okay, I'll figure something out.
Good, Bunny. Don't forget the lighter. It would be rude to only give an addict half their fix.
Yes, I understand.
So, I heard you have a question for me.
What or who is your inspiration?
Ooh, tantalizing. Who do you think it is?
Dumber? Maybe Geen?
Oh, no. No. I'm afraid that two boys suffering from perpetual cases of arrested development and mommy issues are not my cup of tea. This is exactly why Murder We Spoke never covered male killers. They get all the attention, and it's always the same thing, sex and ego, and mommy didn't love me, so now I have to show the entire world what a big man I am. Fucking pathetic.
Okay, so how did you become you?
And who am I exactly?
You know, I mean, it was never truly confirmed to the public, but the item?
Item?
The trophy the police supposedly found when they raided your apartment? It belonged to Atwood, right?
Is that what the rumors are saying?
Nothing has been confirmed.
What do you believe?
You can set the story straight. Right here with me.
Can I? Oh, well, then come closer again, Bunny. I don't want anyone else to hear besides you.
Bailey eagerly leans forward. Paula suddenly jerks her face towards Bailey, nearly scaring Bailey out of her chair. Paula bursts out in laughter at the sight.
Oh, come back, Bunny. I have more stories to tell.
Paula begins to softly hum the tune from Brass in Pocket as she takes Bailey back to 2015.
Lisa, can we afford the rights to that song?
No, probably. Oh my god, no, probably. Shoot, what are we gonna do? Oh,
should have thought of this before we hit record.
We're recording now. Yeah, we can't even afford to re-record this. So what if we played it backwards? Could we do that without?
I don't know. I got some violins. I got a piano. I got a
box of rocks we could shake a little bit. And just snap in the background. You know what? We're gonna fix that one in post. So, okay, folks, you know what? You just go ahead and use your imaginations. And the following you're about to hear is from Something Fishy's original episode and my prop closet.
The creak of the shed door announces Paula's arrival, followed by the click-clack of her heels. She looks around to make sure she is alone. Once that is confirmed, she takes her large Coach tote bag and flings it onto the table. She is feeling a little anxious and desperately needs to relax. Anxiety is for the weak, and Paula must remain in control. She takes a seat and twists her neck from the left to the right, enjoying every pop and crack of bone. She starts to rummage through her purse and pulls out her phone. Paula selects Brass in Pocket, and the song starts to play on her speakers. As she sings along, she begins to take out various dissecting tools from her tote. It's almost like a Mary Poppins bag of horrors.
Gonna use my arms, gonna use my tweezers, gonna use my scalpel, maybe some scissors. Gonna use my fingers, gonna use my imagination. Oh,
Finally, when it seems like nothing else could possibly fit into that bag, Paula digs in deep and pulls out a brown and gray rabbit. The timid creature is in shock and can only manage small squeaks and whimpers that can barely be heard over Paula's speakers.
Aw, little bunny in the woodpile wandered off so far away from the rest of your friends. Don't worry, little bunny. 'Cause I'm gonna make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention, give it to me.
The rabbit screams in terror. Paula takes a moment to savor the fear before she snaps the rabbit's neck. The crack of the neck bone sends shivers down Paula's spine. It's better than sex. She continues to hum along to the song as she begins her dissection. Metal tools clang on the table. She pulls out a switchblade and holds it lovingly. She kisses the wooden handle, then immediately plunges the blade into the bunny's belly. Fuck forceps. She opens the belly with her bare hands and digs in. She uses the scissors and tweezers to get the bits that want to stick inside. The wet sloshing of loose organs and blood plops onto the table as Paula removes the heart, intestines, and lungs. Paula is in her paradise. She is God here. Suddenly, the shed door creaks open and Cres enters the studio. Paula is stunned. She thought she would be the only one here. She attempts to hide her science experiment in the sloppiest way possible, shoving everything, tools, rabbit, organs, and all into her tote. She finally turns off the music.
What the fuck are you doing here?
Don't worry about the mouse.
It's not.
What is it?
Nothing. Hey, that's my tote. Be careful, it's designer.
Cres rips the tote out of Paula's hands and looks around at the mess in the bag.
Bunnies now.
That's a Coach tote you're holding.
You've certainly come a long way since the frogs.
Why do you smell like gasoline?
I'm a little tense. Have you heard from Bernie yet?
No.
The store closes at 8.
Yes, and?
It's after 11.
So?
Something's not right.
You worried about your little experimental marketing idea?
It's experiential marketing, and it worked before, didn't it? We do it for clients all the time. You create a live event that immerses your audience in the experience of your brand. You generate word of mouth, impressions, news coverage. Maybe I should have set another fire.
That would have been suspicious.
We should have told her.
No. Trust me. It's best when Bernie doesn't know the play. Make her feel like she's part of the team, but never give her the ball.
You're supposed to be her best friend.
Best friends are honest.
Am I your friend?
Let's go over the plan again to ease your nerves. Rita leaves the door unlocked and disables all the security cameras. The creep comes in carrying a knife at exactly 9 p.m. He demands money. Rita pretends to pass out. Bernie gives him the money, protects Rita, saves the day. We split the money into thirds. Social posts to follow. Bernie starts trending. We get another audience boost and an extra influx of cash. Nothing to worry about. It's all under my control.
Paula starts to hastily gather her things.
Where are you going?
I have some work I need to finish.
Next time, nothing bigger than a bunny in here.
I don't know what you're talking.
We got expensive shit in here. Gotta have security. Keep it discreet for the cameras. Nothing bigger than a bunny.
In a different part of town, you hop off the Red Line stop at North at Clybourne and walk toward the Chicago River. The streets are populated with high-rise apartment buildings boasting $3,000 a month rent for a one-bedroom. There are a few breweries, modern bars, Whole Foods, Crate and Barrel. You get the point. Finally, about a block away from the river is an industrial strip mall-like complex surrounded by absolutely nothing. In between the designer candle store and precious gemstone shop is Lunar Legs. Once you open the glass doors to the store, you're greeted by music any basic spin instructor would have on their playlist. It is almost 9 p.m. Bernadette is dripping with sweat. She has spent the last hour rearranging the large kettlebell display for the third time today. The exhaustion and desperation she feels in this moment is slowly mixing together into something much more powerful, more insidious.
Okie dokie, Rita. The kettlebells, all 100 pairs, have been reorganized like you asked. Sorry it took so long. Could have sworn you said to organize them according to their weights, 2 pounds to 150. But then you said you'd rather have them by color. And then after you looked at the wall, you decided that by weight was more aesthetically pleasing. So, ta-da! Rita. Rita. Hello, Rita.
Oh, baby. Oh, Jesus, you scared me. Where did you come from?
I was talking directly to your face. Anyway, the kettlebell display is...
Good. I'll arrange by color. It's more aesthetically pleasing that way.
You said you wanted...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I can work on it tomorrow.
It's almost 9 p.m., right?
Yeah, 8:57.
I feel like it's been 8:57 for an hour. Like, just before the curtain opens for the biggest role of my career.
You're here later than usual. You're usually gone by now, to get to your performance on time?
Yeah, well, rehearsal starts next month.
Oh.
It's a new play, like a Kardashian cherry orchard.
Oh, I didn't realize you auditioned yet.
I didn't. I just had my agent call.
Right. That's something I really admire about you, Rita. You have this great work-life balance.
Thank you.
It's like you get to have your cake and eat it too. Hard-working yogi retail worker by day and actress by night, a paycheck in one hand and dreams in the other. I have a dream cake that I would like to eat as well, and I feel like I can almost taste that cake, but only if I never close again. You think we can do that? Me never closing again so I can eat my cake?
Baby? What? Are you hungry or something?
Are you even listening to me?
I'm sorry, baby. I'm a little distracted today.
Just don't call me baby.
I'm not having this conversation with you again. You know what? How about we realign and center ourselves? Let's take a deep breath in.
I don't need realignment.
In. And out. Now, why don't you take this time and make a new name tag for yourself?
I changed it back to Bernie because I figured that would be okay since, it is my name. Look, I added some color to it. See, I drew a whole bunch of hearts and...
Did I not fully communicate my feelings?
You did, but you see, BB isn't really me. I mean, like it is me, my initials anyway, but Bernie is much more me. You see, it all started way back in junior high. These girls on the basketball team would call me Bumblebee. They wouldn't let me play. What are you looking at?
It's 901.
You see him, don't you?
Who?
The creep. He's been coming here almost every night for the past month. He just stands there.
Oh, it's probably security for the parking lot.
Don't you think we would have been told that?
You know what, Phoebe? It's getting late. We both need to focus. Let's remember our breathing, find our center, and, how about you take another pass at those kettlebells by color, okay?
I need to talk to you about my hours.
You're our best closer.
I'm your only closer. I feel I'm being a team player. I've been on this team for 10 years. I even changed my name so this team would like me more.
Phoebe, it's not about likability. It's about fitting in to the culture.
Isn't that the same thing?
We are a family here. We help each other out. See, when I don't have a show, I'm here closing because I want to help the family.
Look, I understand it is extremely difficult to get someone to do the closing shift, but it's not impossible, right? I mean, I'll even help you find someone, okay? Tammy has closed before, and Nikki. I know Nikki covered for me that week I sprained my ankle. I will call them both right now if you want.
Nikki didn't dust the kettlebells.
Oh, Rita, come on. I'm on this team, in this family. I'm here, aren't I? Even when I had that sprain, I still came back early against doctor's orders to rearrange the fucking kettlebells.
Ugh. Excuse me. I do not appreciate your verbal abuse. You are making this workplace very unsafe.
Oh, what about the creep, huh? Look, I bet he's casing the joint because he knows I'm alone in the store. I don't feel safe. As my employer, you have to listen to me when I say I don't feel safe.
Well, I don't feel safe right now with you.
This isn't fair. I don't feel like I'm being heard.
I'm not gonna argue with you. I have to prepare.
Prepare for what?
I have a big role coming soon. I need to conserve my energy.
Paula's right. You're a fucking bitch.
You apologize.
No. I will not fucking apologize for swearing. I don't give a shit about your energy every day, every fucking day. I come into this place and I close for you. Been doing that for 10 years and I never complained. Not once. Nope. Never complained about a goddamn thing. Not when you made me come in when I sprained my ankle, when you keep asking me to rearrange the kettlebells because they never seem to aesthetically please you. I never even complained about BB. B, motherfucking B, with pink hearts and fuck rainbows shooting out my ass. BB. My name is Bernie, bitch. And when Bernie tells you that she is done closing, I mean I am done. Especially when there was some creeptastic, bad touch looking, I got candy in my windowless van motherfucker staring at me every night while I rearrange your kettlebells for the 10,000th time.
Bernadette grabs a kettlebell off the wall and begins to swing it around. Playfully at first.
You know, these used to be so heavy when I first started. Now, they're light as a feather.
Bernadette's swings become faster and more aggressive, back and forth, The heavy swoops from the weight cause the air in front of Rita's face to fly back.
Bernie, that's dangerous. Stop swinging the kettlebell around like that.
You know what? I hope that shady guy breaks in here. I really, really do. In fact, I would help him. I would take this kettlebell and fucking throw it through that glass door so he could walk right in and take whatever he likes. And when he asks me, why didn't I just unlock the door, I'll tell him, because broken glass is more aesthetically pleasing to me. How would that feel? How would you feel if I did that right now? This kettlebell's what? 25 pounds? Oh, it could do a lot of damage. One good swing and crash, crush, crunch. Pieces shattered all over the ground, covering every inch of this floor. I dream about that sometimes, you know? Thinking about all those little pieces across your gleaming floors puts me to sleep at night. You want to see it, Rita? Do you want to see what I dream at night? It's the stuff of nightmares for you.
Suddenly, something heavy crashes through the glass. The storefront window is shattered. The sound of crushing and crunching are heard as footsteps trek through the glass. The creep stands, dressed in all black with a black ski mask covering his face. Bernadette snaps to and notices something on the back of his hoodie. A symbol, more like a family crest. She's seen that before, but where? That thought is immediately interrupted as the creep pulls a gun from his pocket.
Money now.
Yeah, all the money's in the register.
Oh my god, no! No, you can't have it!
Shut up and just tell me where the money is.
It's just money, Rita. Let him have it. There, underneath is a safe. The combo.
No, I won't give it to you.
I'll pull this trigger.
Rita, shut up. The combo is 753.
Baby, stop.
I swear to God.
Ignore her. That's where we store 20s and bigger bills. Just take it and go.
Baby.
The creep cocks the gun and aims directly at Bernadette. His finger tightens over the trigger. Rita comes up behind Bernadette and holds her in place. Bernadette struggles to get away from Rita.
Baby, watch out. He's going to shoot you.
The phrase BB, 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 BB rings in her head over and over again. Rage fills her entire body. She feels as if she's about to burst. She has not felt this way in a long time. Not since... Crack in the eyes. Crack of a collarbone. Sirens. A Mack truck. There is her mom, sitting, smiling, grinning. What are you smiling at? Where's Dad? She should pull back now. She needs to pull back now. Don't let it out. Don't let it out.
Stop calling me BB!
The creep fires the gun. The bullet whizzes by Bernadette's head, missing by mere inches. Bernadette does not seem to care. Her eyes are fixed on her target. The heavy swoop of the kettlebell fills the space, then a loud and violent thump, followed immediately by cracking, crunching. Again and again and again, violent, successive bangs, one right after the other, but not from a gun.
Back at the podcast shed, Cres is alone after Paula's abrupt departure. She sits at the table with a portable police scanner. She strikes a match and takes a long puff from her cigarette. She holds the cigarette at the side of her mouth as she fidgets with the dials, searching through the static for a very specific report.
Come in, Unit 88. We have another 904 Alpha on the corner of Glenwood and Lunt.
This is Unit 88. We need to finish up with the other fire at Dewey Park, then we'll head over.
Looks like the 904 Alpha started fairly recently. Neighbors reported immediately when they saw smoke.
Think it's the same person?
Bernadette kicks open the shed door. The creak startles Cres out of her chair. Bernadette enters the shed back first, hunched over. She is huffing and struggling with an object Jane can't quite see yet. Bernadette slowly drags in a large object, wrapped in a tarp. A pair of pink Nike shoes is all Cres can make out. Bernadette finally registers the sound of the police scanner. She knows she's not alone. She slowly turns to meet Cres's gaze. Cres takes a long inhale of her cigarette and silences the radio.
No one was supposed to be here. Cres?
Bernie.
It was an accident. Okay? A very bad accident. Please don't lift the tarp.
Cres lifts the corner of the tarp. She can barely make out what's underneath. It looks like it was human at one time. Cres never realized that's what brains actually look like.
I didn't mean for it to happen. She just kept screaming at me. Cres, she was screaming at me. The guy, the creep, shattered the window. He came in with a gun. He was pointing the gun right at us. He yelled at us to empty all the money. Rita just kept screaming and screaming at me, ordering me, still ordering me, while this guy has a gun pointed directly at us. She was telling me not to give him any money. Could you believe that? A guy pointing a gun, all he wants is money, and she's telling me not to give it to him, and she's yelling at me, calling me BB, 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 BB. I wanted her to stop screaming. Just give him the money. She grabbed me. She was telling me to watch out, but she was holding me there. BB, BB, BB. I completely forgot I was holding a kettlebell. The guy was pointing the gun and she was screaming and holding me. Stop screaming at me. I just wanted to get to the cash register. You know? That's it. I wanted her to let go of me and get the cash, so I pushed her. Kind of, but like, I forgot I was holding the kettlebell, and I guess I must have swung it somehow because it hit her head and she fell to the ground. When I turned around, the guy, the creep, he was gone. Ran off. He didn't take the money. Why didn't he take the money? Why didn't he take it? Because now I'm left with Rita on the floor and nothing stolen, no creep, nothing, just me, the kettlebell, and help me. Please. Cres, I need help. No one will believe me. They'll think that I
Cres turns her attention to her book bag.
Take these and put them in your car.
From her book bag, Cres produces 3 canisters of lighter fluid. She hands them to Bernadette, who juggles them in her arms.
Why are you carrying around lighter fluid?
I know what to do.
End of episode 2. Thomas, you doing okay?
So Rita.
Yeah.
With a kettlebell?
Yeah. We can stop.
You know, I once had a manager like Rita.
Okay.
They get caught, right?
Yeah. Something Fishy is interviewing them from prison. They wrote a book about it.
Right. Good. They are punished.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah. Yeah, want to see how they get caught and pay for their crimes.
Okay, well, you don't actually get to see that until like episode 8, so
This is fine. We'll just go until episode 8 when they get caught and they pay for what they did.
all right. Well, thank you for joining us. Tune in to the next episode. The dead girl becomes fire.
Oh, someone else dies? Voice acting for this episode provided by
Lisa Bowl,
Thomas Daniels,
Maria Fernanda Diaz,
Mary Glenn Frederick,
Hannah Karpenko,
Tom Morin,
Luli Gomez Teruel,
and
Jenna Zhu. Stage managed by Olivia Timon.
Directed by Lila Rachel Becker.
Written by Rachel Bykowski.
sound editing Derek A. Graham, audio technician Thomas Daniels. Music for today's episode from White Records, Alexi Action, Cube Sounds, Jeff Harvey, Daddy S Music, Monument Music, and Serge Quadrado. Special thanks to the Alliance of Resident Theaters New York, the New York Council on the Arts, Karen Hammond, and Amanda Brummond. Additional thanks to Josh Pritchard, Kelly Florence, Nina Field, Lakin McCarty, Alice Wu, Rachel Mock, Carter Caldwell, Alicia Kunkel, Liat Graff, and Tracy Greenwood.
Marifer, you're on mute.
Fuck! And I was doing it so cool. I timed it perfectly. Whatever. I'm special.